Try this again. Done. I am trying something here. Go live. And let's see what we get. Okay, I can see that Sulu to Kill Ali L is in the building. So this is my first time joining. This is my first time doing a live on YouTube and Instagram at the same time. So I'm trying to get things correct before I start. I got a lot of information today. Not everybody will enjoy my information, but it will be knowledge. I don't use the term teach loosely. Sometimes I'm just sharing knowledge and I don't consider myself teaching. Today I will teach. If I'm not going to do it, who's going to do it? So today I'll teach. However, I felt the conversation was so important that I do something that I never do. I usually keep these two audiences separated, because Instagram is like it's for people who want short hits of dopamine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you could be a serious content creator on Instagram. It's just if you want to get some quick information out there like that. So I treat it for what it is worth. But if I really want to get serious information out, I'm not going to use Instagram. I use TikTok before I use Instagram. However, today, a lot of the audience that I do want to speak to is on Instagram. So bear with me for a second as I figure out. I have to check on some other things, but you can check out this song that I made while I do that. It's an instrumental anyway, but I'm in the back doing something, so bear with me. Alright, I think I got it. Alright, that's a beat I made called Chinatown Brawl, but that doesn't matter. I think I got the chat fixed in YouTube, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the discussion. So let's go and let's just start here. Oh, we're going to talk about the black walnut tincture that I also made. A lot of people have been asking me about the black walnut tincture. I made it. I started making this last year, September, but it was, so it's a certain way you have to make this black walnut tincture. So me and my daughter actually, I have the videos and all of that. I just didn't put it up yet. We actually went around and we collected the black walnuts. Like we actually went around and we picked the black walnuts off the trees. Then we came back, we washed them down, we took the hull. It's the hull of the black walnut that you really want, that fights off the worms and stuff like that, that's in your body. So then we had to let that sit in the alcohol base for a certain amount of months. And then after that, we had to add cloves and wormwood for another certain amount of months. So I think maybe January, after it's all together, it took me like 6 months to make all of this. And then we're ready, and I'll talk about that in a second. But first,
actually hearing that this could be a case of mistaken identity, actually from the NYPD direct that this was a case of mistaken identity. Apparently, the two narcotics officers.
And again, bear with me, because this is my first time even using this here. There we go.
Were in the area trying to operate an undercover sting.
Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go here. I gotta get used. This is my very first time using this software. I've never used this before. I'll get used to it.
Well, Shirley, this community is upset, to say the least, especially hearing that this could be a case of mistaken identity. Actually, from the NYPD direct that this was a case of mistaken identity. Apparently, the two narcotics officers were in the area trying to operate an undercover sting when they witnessed a drug sale. They thought the man in the store was a part of that sale, so they approached him, tried to make an arrest, and that's when things escalated. A chaotic scene inside this Borum Hill liquor store. Bottles crashing, blood on the ground, and two NYPD.
This is crazy. This is crazy, Lord. This is crazy. Crazy. I want to start off like this. If you follow me on YouTube, you already know I've been warning you of psyop attacks, right? Things that would purposely make us distracted. Things that would infuriate us against the Caucasian people. I'm not saying this is one, but you have to keep your eyes open. You have to consider all things. You have to consider that. Now, again, I'm not saying this happened, but you have to consider that the CIA would plant agents in police departments, all type of departments, everywhere. And if you don't think they have them, then you're bugging. They're everywhere. Not saying that this would happen. This is what happened. Again, you have to consider this, because when they push the button and say, yeah, we need you to do that now, go ahead and set it off. We need a distraction. Now, America don't really need a distraction at this point. We got our hands full. This dude took all the money from the Adelson widow and whoever, God knows who else. So they got him by the Weibles. And Mark Epstein was running around talking about, yo, they got a picture of your boy giving BJs to fucking Clinton. Shit is crazy, Lord. I don't know. I didn't start that rumor. That's that's the Epstein boys. They was talking about that privately on the email. Yo, you think Putin still got that picture of your boy giving BJs to Bubba? They called him Bubba. Ah! God forbid. God forbid niggas out here giving BJs to a nigga named Bubba at that. Which is Bill Clinton. got to be more careful, nigga. Huh? This could be a CIA. It could have been a CIA, but I don't think it is a CIA. I truly do believe that they really thought they had the right guy. However, where is Patrick Lynch? Because this fucking ugly faced mongrel always seemed to pop up when the police catch a splinter. If a police officer catch a splinter, fucking frog face, troll face ass Patrick Lynch is in the media. Yo, my guy's called a splinter. I mean, who's gonna pay for this shit? Dickhead. And I always say, yo, Patrick, man, if you would also speak up in times where your police officers are not in a good light, but that's not how the fraternities work. We know this. And that's why most fraternities are dangerous, and most ideological silos are dangerous, because they tend to form this bubble. It happens all the time, and it's way more common than it is not common. We seem to form this bubble. And we start drinking our own juice. When I first seen this video, I didn't know what to, there was a lot of, like, my brain just went all over the place as I'm watching this. But I want to say this. Obviously, Patrick Lynch, the reason I brought up your name is because obviously there's room for improvement within the training of your officers, right? This is going to cost them millions. And this is one way out the hood. Just mind your fucking business. Go get a chopped cheese, and whatever happens, happens. You might get lucky enough to get punched in the fucking face by two untrained, obviously steroid-using Neanderthals. So that's going to cost the city money. That I hope he gets. I hope they don't do this whole 10-year. This nigga don't got 10 years in him, Lord. Huh? I seen him. You got to rush to the doctor, get on that Ozempic, Lord. Shit is crazy. Please give this man his money within the next 2 to 3 years. Let's get him the fuck up out of Brooklyn ASAP. ASAP, and may you never look back, sir. Out the Miranda rights, out the window. You're under arrest is not the Miranda rights, bro. That's not, I don't know what you guys are doing, who's teaching you what. Take it back. Let her finish her doing her.
A chaotic scene inside this Borum Hill liquor store. Bottles crashing, blood on the ground, and 2 NYPD plain.
Oh, if this wasn't even a bodega, you can't get a chopped cheese in a liquor store.
Clothes officers at the center of it all, against one man who appears to be in distress.
This was one. God damn. Has God been telling you to stop drinking, my brother? Keep it real with your boy. Have you been hearing the voices of the angels of God telling you, yo, I want you to stop drinking this mess? This is why this is all happening? I thought this happened in a bodega. At closer observation, I can clearly see Alizé and a bunch of other bullshit that we do not need in our body in the back. For a long time, for decades even. Decades. They use this as the poster advertising billboard to get rich. And then when it felt like we was going to catch on, then they started to include us and give the bigger names like Puff Daddy, Dame Dash, Jay-Z. They started to give these guys equity in the racket of poisoning our people, right? So if you just coming across my feed, my name is Jamel Saladin, and I believe, it is not confirmed, but I believe I have a slight case of autism. It has not been confirmed. And I say that because I don't give a fuck about what everybody else care about, and they be bugging me out sometime, right? I be stuck on what I'm stuck on. So while everybody's doing this and paying attention to doing this, right? They normalize the culture doing this over here. I'm over here doing some other shit. Focus on God knows what. And I love to look at history. It could be short-term history. It could be long-term history. I love to look at history. Because you can learn some things. And as I start to dig into, while everybody's on the juice, we fly high, no lie, ballin'. While everybody's on the stupid shit, I just be like, wait. So who run this shit? Nah, I gotta focus. I got to get. And I don't like barbershop talk, right? I don't like a bunch of niggas. Yo, so what they saying is, this nigga don't know what's up. I guarantee you. Otherwise, he would be in the library and out here talking shit to me, asking me to bum him a short. $5. Cut me short. I'm not even smoking. Oh, okay. You don't got $5 on you, do? I do have $5. It's not for whatever tomfoolery you're about to indulge in. And then I get deep into the thick of the investigation. So I really studied and went into, like, shout out to Whitney Webb. There are a bunch of authors that I can't take credit. I read these people's work. And I find things out. And it should be obvious by now that we was the black people of North America. The black people of North America. The melanated, let me make this a little bit clearer. The melanated people of North America. Because that's a lot of people. That's not just FBA. Hopefully I will get to some of that conversation. I like the fact that Nine Keys is going against Brother Tariq Nasheed right now. It exposes a whole new conversation for me that I need to clear some things up. So I like that they having a little riff. A little riff. I think it's healthy right now. It's okay. It hasn't gone too far. There are certain people that could clear that up overnight, but they won't because they want to remain politically correct. I assure you, good people on Instagram, you've never really seen me in action because I don't do shit over here. I do music videos. I do bullshit over here on YouTube. I mean on Instagram, because that's what Instagram is for. It's a bullshit app. But I usually teach, so you've never seen me get busy. Today, if you stay online, you will see me get busy. But I don't expect you to do that, because again, if you found me on Instagram, you're looking for spontaneous dopamine hits. Anyway, most of these people who claim to be Ashkenazi Jews that controlled the music and entertainment business, I don't know if you could be mad at them for exploiting a weaker people. The weaker people would be you if you didn't catch on to the subtle suggestion that the weaker people would be you, black people of America. We at some point we have to stop this stupid shit and say we could do better. We could, and it's, we understand what's up against us, so that means we have to change something. To continue to do the same thing over and over again would be insanity. So we would have to do something that is almost careless. You would have to, selfless. That's the word I'm looking for. Not careless. Selfless. Meaning you start to do a work that you know you're not going to see the end of, but you are happy that you contributed to it. And that is where a lot of these, to be honest with you, that's how the Zionist movement got to where it got to. People participated consciously and knowing and participated in something that they know. I might not see the end of this. And the melanated people that we did have working in our communities that had that same mindset, those people died off, and I don't know if they've been replaced. It seems like no one, that generation is dying off. And there was many of them. So it's hard not to look at that generation of African American, or let's just say Pan-African, because not all of them was African originated here in the Americas. Kwame Ture was actually Trinidadian. You understand? But he did contribute, and he is melanated. And I do believe him to be from the, maybe his lineage could be from the African diaspora as well. Or he could be Taino Indian. We'll get into it. We'll get into all of that. What I do want to talk about today is the miseducation of the black man. You know, on Instagram a few months ago, I purposely did something, and I just wanted to, first of all, let me just tell you this. I went to school. I got my bachelor's, and I studied sociology when I took my bachelor's. And I found out I liked social studies. I kind of knew that in high school, but I didn't see where that would take me. So I didn't choose to do anything in social studies, right? I never thought about being like an anthropologist or some type of scientist in social studies. I never thought about these things. But when life forced me back into education, I'm like, all right, I got to go back and get a degree, because that's the requirements out here if I'm going to be if I'm going to be legal and not a criminal. They want requirements because it's a competition, right? If you can't be used, you're useless. So it's a competition. So I said, okay, let me go back to school so I can compete and for a higher wage. And that's what I did. And I studied sociology, and I loved it. And I'm learning all these things about society in an organized way, not like barbershop shit. That some of this stuff you know, but a lot of this stuff you don't know. You don't know the terms for it. You don't know the legal jargon for it. You don't know. You don't know that it's an actual science and a curriculum that these people have put together, and it helps you think in a different rhythm. It helps you see different things that were not there anymore, and you're expressing yourself, and you're philosophizing on it and expanding thought on these topics. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I learned. Also, my master teacher, Kaba Kamin, he wrote a book, Who Were the Moors Before the Moors? We have to get into this. We have to get into this book. Now, my thoughts are not the thoughts of... Anything I say is not the thoughts of Professor Kaba Kamin. I'm independent. I speak to him. We have great discussions. He gives me resources. However, I don't want his reputation to be tainted by my own independent view, because it may seem extreme at some point, the things that I say, and far-fetched. I just want you to know that the Moorish Science Temple of America asked him to write this book because they wanted things to get cleared up. I know exactly why they wanted things cleared up. I know exactly why. They never got to tell me because they didn't ask me to write the book. But I know why. And I commend them for that. There was mistakes made. There were mistakes made by certain people who had a voice in the community. And when those mistakes are not fixed, they can have tremendous consequences on that community. So as we love to run around and we call ourselves kings and, yo, what up, king? What up, queen? These are just like fucking things we say, just like fucking bullshit words. But no one's taking the time to really say, yo, let me seriously start to behave like a king. And that's part of your journey, right? Going through the metamorphosis of not knowing, not being filled with anything, but to having the desire to be more and then actually taking this step. The desire and the actual, you actually taking this step to be more is two different things. And I see so many people stop at the desire. Because you can get doped up on your own. Man, you have a good enough conversation about what you want to do and what you're going to do. Oh, you're going to have it's going to be a beautiful conversation. And then that's all it's going to be. A spiritual hive and then nothing. But faith without works is dead. It may seem like I'm going on a tangent, but I'm not going on a tangent because I'm looking at the alcohol in the back, and then I'm thinking about all the videos that we were shaking Armadale in the video. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of money was made off of selling this liquor that we now know was not good for us, and we now, all the doctors are trying to get everybody on Ozempic. So I don't like the rush. I know I would keep an audience if I just gave them what they came for. But I also don't give a fuck about none of that. He who have ears will hear. So if you're not supposed to be here, then beat it and go watch fucking monkey videos. Fuck are you doing listening to me about some articulate shit? Beat it. I don't like to rush what I'm doing so that I can keep an audience. I just wanted you to know I know what to do to keep an audience when I want to keep an audience. It's my choice. So we got trapped up in something, and we was promoted many of things, not just alcohol. We was definitely, black ignorance is a billion. I would say $1 trillion business, but it's definitely $1 billion business. Black ignorance. The frequency is so strong. You got other people out here like, yo, if that's how you get attention, then let me get in on the stupid shit. The world is yours, baby. I see the Ashkenazi Jews started to take control of, when it came to the monetization of hip hop. The monetization of it. It has to be separated, right? You had some people there, boots on the ground, when it was being formed organically. And then you had some people when they seen that this thing could be monetized. Then they came in. Then everyone is watching, by the way. There's nobody that's not fucking watching. Everyone is watching. And with this beautiful thing called the internet, shit, the way it is now, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's watching. I assure you. I'm not even going to tell you any stories. Just take my word for it. You don't know who's watching. And people have always been watching, especially when things have a... You got to understand, if you did not do the history of hip-hop, and I no longer take for granted that just because somebody is a famous DJ, a famous MC, a famous producer, a famous music executive, that they have any idea about what hip-hop is. I see majority of people don't know what the fuck hip-hop is. It's amazing to me. It is amazing. So I think the closest person who got it right was Melly Mel when he said it's a New York energy. It's a New York energy. It's a Bronx energy. It's a New York energy. First, before anything. So I thought it was very CIA-ish of Tariq Nasheed to try to cause a schism there. And it did do a great job of causing a schism, of separating Caribbeans and Spanish people from a culture that he does not have any idea about. All that education, all the resources that he has, and you couldn't do proper research to find out what hip hop is. He even came out with a bullshit album called Wash Your Ass. Now, I won't judge him on his younger actions because we do shit when we're young. And he came out with a hip hop. I've listened to it. It is horrible. He was not a great lyricist. It wasn't hard because he couldn't put. I've heard people try to rap and they just fucking garbage, but they love hip hop, so they putting words together, and it's like, all right, you trying something. That's not what he was doing. He was talking down on women. He was like a fake pimp type. The name of his album is Wash Your Ass, and he had a girl, Ebony, Redbone on the cover. Well, he's in some fucking BBD overalls with the one strap off. So he could be an agent. He could definitely be a fucking agent. That's 9 keys could be, but 19 keys. I've already said this. Everything, what 19 keys is saying now, I've been said this shit, blood. So, this nigga's an agent, Lord. Fuck you coming in and talk about who was in hip hop. Oh, that's all FBA. And it was crazy to me because I said, here's the thing about Tariq Nasheed. He doesn't want to give the Africans before the transatlantic any acknowledgement, right? And he doesn't want to give anybody outside of the criteria that fits a foundational Black American any acknowledgement to certain things. So when it comes to something like hip-hop, I felt like he was way out of his bounds in the first place because, bro, now you taking something and trying to fit your mold, your narrative. And I don't mind you doing that with your hidden color films or whatever you're going to do if you can show the proof. But when it comes to cultures that I truly love, you got to understand, I love hip-hop. Love it. Don't play with that. We had enough people playing with that. We had people with bigger pockets. Yes, I'm talking about Ashkenazis right now. Ashkenazi Jews. They done came in. And I'm not saying all of them had hatred for black. That's not what I'm saying at all. Let's take Tommy Silverman, right? Do I think Tommy Silverman had hatred for the black man? No, I think he could not help that he was born, who he was born, and had access to a network that was stronger than most African American or Pan African people. His network was stronger. Those people, those Ashkenazis, if you study their history, they made themselves stronger by looking at, I have a saying, if you can't be used, you're useless. So therefore, actually when it was pushed into upper Europe, they would forced to do other jobs because they were just, there's a word that I'm looking for. Is it on the tip of my tongue? But it's not going to come to me right now, so I'm not going to waste time. Anyway, I'm being stubborn because I want the word, and it's right there. Oh, I almost had it. It's not gonna come. It's not gonna come back. I hate to use another word because that's the word I want. But anyway, the people there would not allow them to be part of the European culture. There were certain guilds, certain jobs that they discriminated. That's the word. Jesus, I knew it was going to come. They were discriminated against in all type of professional guilds, so it made it real hard for them to make a living. And when you're in a situation like that, you have to create your own opportunity. And we've seen this time and time again. So when we see stuff like America putting sanctions on Russia and saying, okay, well, now you're not going to be able to use the international SWIFT system to do business with other countries, but you have a resource and you know other people want this resource, then Russia was like, yo, I don't need you. Yo, who want to do business not using the US dollar? Does anybody want to do business not using the US dollar? Just our rupees to your fucking currency? Everybody was like, hell yeah. And then they found out that actually pushed them forth up in scale of the most wealthiest countries. So they moved up a couple of notches because of the predicament that they were put into. Sometimes you don't realize greatness got to be squeezed out of you. You got to be put into a situation where it's life or death, live, drown, sink or swim. You got to be put in these situations to see what's in you if you're going to come out. The Ashkenazis was put in a situation where when they was moved up into upper Europe, they wasn't rocking with them. So they became money changers. People that had different currencies and you came and visit this country, I'm like, okay, I'll exchange the money for you. This became a valuable thing. Sometimes it's the smallest thing that nobody else is looking at where they don't see an opportunity. You have to see the opportunity and just make one and then build on that shit. You understand? And shout out to Doug Knox. I spent a lot of time with Doug Knox from Mount Vernon. And he had, just spending a little time with him, he had got me to thinking very differently. Always thinking opportunistically. And I don't say that in a negative sense. He wasn't looking like to prey on people, but he's like, where's the opportunity? There's an opportunity somewhere. So when they seen the opportunity of this new culture taking off in New York City, starting with the spray paint, starting with the graffiti, that's where the hip hop starts. Can't never start. This is why I say people don't know what they're talking about, because I don't care if they famous. I don't care if they was in the... Yo, I've been a DJ. Fuck your status, nigga. You don't know what hip-hop is about. Not trying to hear all of that dumb shit you talking about. Yeah, now I got enough confidence because I found out these niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. And they can't argue with me in hip-hop. Yeah. You got 5 albums. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, bro. Hip-hop started way before there was even a fucking name. So when I hear people, and I've heard more than one person say it, but the person who sticks out the most is actually one of my Westchester brothers, Lord Jamar. When I hear him say shit where he doesn't want to give respect to the graffiti artists, and shout out to Nas. Shout out to Nas on the new album. He got the song Writers and all of that, where he shouts out all the fucking writers. Duh. Because without the writers being exploited for their artwork, that's who's getting the first recognition. That's who's being put in the New York Times. Shout out to Taki 183 and all that. It wasn't fucking Cornbread from Philly, nigga, doing stick figures. It was a Greek guy from 183rd in the Bronx. But he wasn't the first. Shut the fuck up. Who was the first to do anything? Yeah, I do think Tariq Nasheed is an agent. And I dare you get involved in the conversation you know little about, you care nothing about, and you just want to excite some type of... You trolling us, bro. Troll us with something else. Don't troll us with fucking hip-hop, because hip-hop has been used as a medicine and, unfortunately, a weapon at the same time. That's why I say don't do that with hip-hop, bro. This shit was a you have no fucking idea. The reason I am who I am now is because of hip-hop. That's a fact. But it was certain elements of hip-hop. When you combine them all, I used to love Public Enemy. And I don't know how they allowed him to do those videos, but I think that's one of the other reasons they shut him down. No pun intended. I think that's the other reason they shut him down, because I think they knew who they might really be inspiring, but I'm like a sleeper cell. You understand? You would have never known that they meant that much to me. Shout out to Big Les. You would have never known. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's watching. You may do something you think, oh, nobody's fucking watching. You don't know who's watching and who's just being quiet, and who you inspiring and who you pissing off. Don't think your life is that insignificant when nobody's watching. Yeah, Big Les. What does Big Les got to do anything? Big Les was a fucking dancer. I'm out here watching all the videos just to see how many videos she's in actually dancing, because I'm trying to do the moves too. Shout out to Grap Lover from Mount Vernon, New York. I am coming home trying to catch Video Music Box, and I'm doing the dances, nigga. I want to see what Scoop and Scrap is doing. You understand? I want to see what Trouble T. Roy and G Wiz is doing. Shout out to Prance Low and all that. 2 L's up. And this inspired a lot of people, because when we seen all this fly shit, now take it for granted, there's a lot of fly shit going on. There's not only conscious, there's reality. You understand? Reality is the United States decided to bring in drugs and let the black man sell it. It was a setup, of course. It was definitely going to throw our ass in the fucking cage. But when we did get the money, we showed our ass, didn't we? Oh, we showed our ass. Huh? Shout out to Freeway. Freeway, Ricky Ross. There was some. The reason I shout out Freeway is because there was some people who actually got that money and did have some dreams like, yo, I could put on. I could put on for my community. I could put on for my people. I could put on for my family. Right? We could change some things. But we are human beings at the end of the day. And that opportunity to make some bread, turn people into savages, or brought out the savage side of people. I already believe that we are primitive people, all of us. And we have the ability to do some very savage-like things. Each and every one of us. You have the ability. It is there. Whether we normalize it or not is something different. Now, what they did, and I don't so much think this was the plan for the Ashkenazi Jews who started to... First of all, the Italians and the Jews already had control of music distribution. And many of them had that opportunity because of the Italian/Jewish gangster relationship. But there was a certain Russian Jew who we must acknowledge, because that dude was ahead of his fucking time. And his name is Mylansky. Whew. You have no fucking idea how ahead of his time was, to the point where he actually contributed to the digital currencies that we're using now because of the underhanded things that he was trying to accomplish in the criminal world. But that's for another story. He was one of the smartest criminals America has seen. However, he did partner with the government very early. World War II. The government came to him and asked him to find spies that were docking at the New York docks, that was coming in off the waters and docking there at the New York docks. He found the spies, by the way. So he did what he was asked to do. He did ask a couple of things. One of them was to get his man free, Lucky Luciano. And they freed him, but they deported him, right? So now you have the relationship between the government and the mob. And that has never really stopped. The government, the mob, and Ashkenazis, which we were already in relationship with them because we helped them get their state since 1948. So this is just more. This is just making the relationship stronger, because this is not purely from a Zionist perspective. This has to do with something else that is actually legal, but covert at the same time. So you had the Ashkenazi Jews, criminals, forming a relationship with the United States, the descendants of colonists. Woo! Well, that's some firepower right there. That's some firepower right there. Some strong firepower, and everybody's going to seem to get stronger and stronger and stronger, except, if you notice, as I go through this, the melanated people, Pan-African people of America. Because only we could change our situation. Now, as we start doing our thing and we create what we create in New York City, and it was really, I would say, the people of the ghettos and the people who were involved. And that wasn't only black people. I don't give a fuck who you spoke to and your man was there and all of this. A lot of people, they speak from the perspective of their own bubble. A lot of people got a gripe. A lot of black people have gripes that they don't want to. They're like, nah, man, that's not how it happened. I was there. But you can't give me no facts on what was happening. Or the fact you give me all contain black people, which is a bias. We call that biased and when we do research. That's biased information. Because I cannot compare it to anything else. I cannot stack it up against the unpopular information, the unfavorable information. I can't stack it up against it to weigh it to see which one is going to hold out. So what you do is you stack the information. This way the person could only come to one conclusion. Well, I call people like you a bullshit researcher. And I'm not here for bullshit research. So the information, the evidence shows that there wasn't only black people running around with spray cans and getting busy in the city. And let me explain something to you, just in case you thinking right now, yeah, it was only spray paint though. Nigga, they had a $10 million budget in the 60s against this goddamn spray paint. There's a lot of money in the 60s, especially to be dedicated just to spray paint. Yeah, eradicating the spray paint. So what I'm getting at is that these people that were spraying everything, these were already people looked at as degenerates, as vagrants, if you will. And they were already being sought after by the cops. And that became the thrill of it. Can I finish? How much can I finish without getting caught? Can I just spray a little something? Because if I get caught, nigga, I'm going to jail. And some people have died running from the man over spray paint. So do understand, this is how this thing starts. When you talk about hip-hop. Huh? If you don't know the history of something, Minister Farrakhan voice, then you should keep quiet. Then you should keep quiet. Oh, I didn't even think the Rat Boy came over and said, why was the guy in the store resisting arrest? He was not resisting arrest. We'll get to that in a second. But he was not resisting arrest. Hold on. I want to take something down, but I don't know what I want to take down. Do I want to take down this? Boom. Nope. Don't want to take down that. Take down this. That's what I wanted to take down. Boom. All right. Yeah, he was not resisting arrest. Thank you very much. I just wanted to take a quick look at Instagram. I can't. This is my first time using this particular software, so I can't see. I was hoping I could see what is going on Instagram. The only thing I can see is when people join, and that's it, which sucks because I would want to see the video, but it's all good. Let's get back to this. I'm like an hour in. I didn't even start teaching yet. I am 1 hour in. I didn't even start teaching yet. So far, I'm going to get back into this. So far, this software is alright, but I can't move my chat. That sucks. I gotta get that fixed if I can't control my chat. Sucks. I don't know. B-Dolo was good. I don't know if I'm gonna use this. This is a good software to use when I want to talk to both Instagram and YouTube at the same time. Other than that, I don't know if I'm gonna use this software like that. Alright, let's get back to, because I need to see the chat while I'm fucking chatting. Alright, let's get back to this.
Apparently, the officers are trying to arrest him. The video now circling on social media. The officer.
What y'all doing, bro? Untrained. How you become a detective? This is crazy work. And I do hope they lose their badge as a detective. Put them back on the beat. Just put them back on the beat. They should lose their gold badge for sure. You should lose your gold badge. I expect to see these two right back on the fucking beat, man.
Officers appear to deliver several punches, even a kick in his buttocks while he's lying on the ground, and has ignited outrage in the community.
The officers who committed this heinous act have lost their guns already.
That's right.
But that's not enough. That's not enough.
Okay, they lost their guns already. All right. Yeah. Hawk Newsom. It says Black Lives Matter. Jesus. Ah, God damn. Nigga. You want to know what I'm thinking right now? I'll tell you what I'm thinking. Obviously, we should be outraged by these two cops who obviously don't have I don't even know how the fuck they became detectives. That is crazy what I just seen. That was not strategy, tactful, none of it, bro. So either they was hopped up on cocaine, or they was just, they were so used to a culture where it's anything is willy-nilly. And it could have been a little bit of both. I want them tested. Hope they were tested. Might be out their system by now. Could have been a little bit of both, allegedly. But one thing's for sure is they definitely wasn't following procedure. And I don't even need to read the book to find out. I know nobody wrote a book for you to go in there and start swinging on people like that. That's just crazy nonsense. And now you cost the city millions. Which I'm happy homeboy's going to get. I want him to have millions. I hope he gets the help he needs. I don't know if this. I want to find out what time it was. Was this early in the morning, blood? You out here getting fucking alcohol? But my thoughts is this. As much as we feel the outrage, I told everybody on my YouTube, be careful, because they might come with some shit to distract us. And God knows America needs a distraction right now. In every demographics, they have something called think tanks, right? One of the largest think tanks that America uses is a company called the Rand Corp. We'll get into that in another video on YouTube. I don't got time today to really go into the Rand Corporation and how that really started. However, just understand that these people are paid billions to consider every aspect of life, so that they have the information and data pretty much so they can control these areas of life. I'm always weary of black people that will come out of nowhere only when there's opportunity time. Just like Patrick Lynch. Weary that motherfucker too, and he's Irish. Like I said earlier, he only come out when it's time, when a police officer catches a fucking splinter, some silly shit. He's beefing about the police department. Whenever you see them do something wrong, he's nowhere fucking around. He should be out there right now saying, yo, we don't condone this. This way, when you do talk about the shit that your officers actually need support on, the community can get behind it. Why? Because they don't see you as biased. But Patrick Lynch comes off as a racist motherfucker. So no one pays him any mind as soon as he starts opening up his mouth. You do not seem genuine. You just seem like a racist bigamist with a big mouth. However, I'm not the type of guy to side with somebody just because they black. So I don't know what's going on here in this video. But this man would show up knowing he was going to be on camera with no undergarments. Niggas out here like the Barry White on Ozempic. You got fucking disco 70 chains on with the fucking hair showing under. Yo, button up your shirt, my man. Did you not know you was coming to this joint to talk to the people? Fuck is you doing? I'm very skeptical of Black Lives Matter. Very. I have my reasons. And I was telling my people before, just be careful. Because where was these people? Why don't they, Black Lives Matter, but why don't Black Lives Matter when we doing this shit to ourselves too? That's when I want to hear your voice too. But you know what? People like to do the popular thing. Woe to those who will call evil good and good evil. Woe to those. Now, you got D1 out here. His rhetoric is more like, yo, why we gotta push the negative energy, this, that, and the thing. A lot of people ain't trying to hear that. Hip hop has been so corrupted on purpose with a monetary incentive to be negative. Most people don't even know why this shit is so negative. They really think, nah, it's a hip hop thing. This is how hip hop started. You sound fucking ridiculous. I actually see people who are out, who have fucking albums. Like, they really think. I was listening to Tony Yayo and Uncle Murder. So they really think that hip hop has to be on some street shit, and that's where we fucked up every time. By hip hop is not street shit. So, and I did both, nigga. I've done both. There's not too much I didn't do out in them goddamn streets. And I actually worked for Rough Rider Records and fucking Rockefeller Records. I worked for Louis Burrell, MC Hammer's brother. I say that because I know the difference. I know that I'm not. You're not listening to someone who can only talk from a collegiate standpoint. I know my diction will throw you off, and how I pronounce my words and my demeanor will throw you off. And it's really simple. I'm not a frontin' ass nigga. There's no need to be overly urbanized right now in this environment. There's not a fucking situation where I need to pull out the toolie and I don't know. It's not a lot of theatrics in hip hop, and that was insensitized by people who wanted to make money off of the imagery of the participants in hip hop while they controlled the whole thing. Now, the reason I brought up Maya Lansky before is because I wanted to show you the relationship between the Ashkenazi Jews and the government who would later come in, and that is where you kind of get your connection to the private prison system and music having a hard turn in direction on what it will be displaying, right? Obviously, we always had a little people from the streets in hip hop. Shout out to Steady Being Cool C. Shout out to Steady B Cool C. You had your people from the streets, but it wasn't all street. You had your people, poor righteous teacher. You was there, so you know. You had different elements, and that's what makes up life. It's not only the negative. But when these people get, I guess when they find out that that positive shit they kick in, man, it's making it hard. We got to get rid of all that shit. Because it's giving what they call ma'at. You know what ma'at is? Ma'at is balance. So, when you look at life, you will, and you will start to see this in the symbols. It's all in the symbols, right? Polarity. Show you something. Let me show you something. Polarity. Watch the card I'm looking for be at the very end. Hierophant. Polarity. There you go. Polarity. I think that's the only one. Huh? Look, I got more. The Emperor. Polarity. What's this? Justice. Polarity. Alright, I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And I want to show you something. I'm bringing this up and making a point. First card we will deal with is the High Priestess. Now, I want to show you you're going to see something. And I'll show you what you're looking for rather than ask you. You see 2 pillars. I think one is Boaz and the other one is like Joachim. But it doesn't matter the names of the pillars right now. What I want you to just see is that someone is sitting between these 2 pillars, right? Now, a lot of things, a lot of symbols, if you're not initiated, you won't know what they're for. But the pillars are there. I mean, the symbols will be there. This is another one. This is another one that people misinterpret all the time. This is the Devil card and misinterpret. And I'm showing this to you because it's 2. Again, you see the polarity. You see one on one side, one on the other. That male is positive energy and the woman is the negative energy. Not negative in the sense of bad or evil. Negative in the sense of receptive, right? She has a vagina and she receives the penis of a male, right? She receives his semen. Same way the earth receives raindrops, and then what comes of rain after the rain hits the soil and hits the seed. Life, vegetation, right? So we see the same thing between man and female. So I'm not judging you if you are a deviant, right? This is why these people, they push homosexuality and then they make it seem like, oh, it's a natural, and if you're evil if you don't understand. It in all actuality, it goes against the nature of existence. So it's not about anybody calling you an evil person. It just goes. So what people are saying is you're a deviant. It doesn't mean that you need to be hated or beat up or I can't love you. You're just a deviant. It is what it is. Look at this. This is Hierophant on the 2 sides. He's between 2 pillars, right? I'm going to explain those in a second. But you see he's between 2 pillars. We're talking about Ma'at. Here's Justice. Again, you see Justice between 2 pillars. The Emperor. He's not so much in between 2 pillars, but the way he is seated is he is in between 2 barriers. So, in most things, there is a negative and a positive. And again, it's not about bad or good. That is not what I'm saying to you. It's just the science of the universe. The thing we work at is becoming, what we work at on this planet is having the balance of the energies. Having a balance. My aunt, the music industry removed my aunt. So it's not about being overly good, and because I do believe that these people will end up backsliding because they're not indulging the other interests in their life in a healthy way. So then at some point they just wow all the way fucking out, and then that's when you see a pastor, he's out here dicking down the the congregation. You need my aunt, my nigga. You need the balance, bro. What are you doing? And just like you can't be overly in one direction, you can't be overly negative either. You cannot be. But because there was an industry that monetized the overly negative shit that happens in our communities, many people just let it go. Nah, that's the way it is. That's that real shit. And we start to label all type of dysfunction as validity. Until it hits home, then it's like, yo, bro, let's stop the shooting. Let's niggas take pride in this shit. I see niggas every day on bullshit apps like Instagram taking pride. And we understand that black ignorance is $1 billion business, right? Even one of my homeboys, shout out to Rudy L. 2 L's up, you know that. Rudy L, he put up mostly negative videos. You understand? Niggas getting robbed all day. But I understand why he do it, because that's what people pay attention to. Right? So it allows him to stay in the algorithm, because you will indulge in that fucking shit. Until he figures out, okay, how do I take this notoriety to the next level? And that's what most people do. They get involved with it, and then they say, okay, but then sometimes they, you don't see the outs. You don't see, like, okay, how do I get out of this cycle of just showing negative shit, getting involved in? And it does have an effect on you after a while. Don't play around with energy. Don't play around, especially if you don't understand it. Don't play around with it. You put yourself in a bad situation. Now, getting back to the Rand Corporation, their PSYOP abilities, their ability to see things, then they give this information to other departments. And then these departments figure out how we're going to run a PSYOP. They know they can't just get out here and run a PSYOP with all fucking Caucasian people if it's against the blacks. So they must initiate some black people into this. I'm not calling this guy Hawk Newsom a fucking Asian. I don't even know Hawk Newsom. I know he didn't have the decency to show up with undergarments on This nigga look like he been partying all night, and then just like, yo, fuck it, we gotta go do this, we gotta go do this. So we do need, and you can do this in private, brother, but I'm glad you came to the light and you telling us, you came to the forefront and you let us know that these cops got their guns taken away. And you are right, that is not enough. We definitely need, we've been needed restructuring of the framework of the police department. It's not enough to say defund the police, because even those words got taken out of context because things are not explained. Again, not bragging, but this is probably why you should subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I do go into detail and I give the education of things that will be overlooked in a 15-second, a 30-second, a 60-second clip on Instagram about defund the police. That shit was never about we want less police officers. See, if you would have came over to my YouTube channel, then you would have understood the history of why there are quotas in the first place. What laws created the quota. You have to go into the Law Assistance Enforcement Act. And that was one of the first acts that actually fraternized all of the local police departments in the United States to make it that, give it that military presence that they wanted in the United States. That's what they wanted. That's what they got. But we got way more things going on than one thing here. So when you're dealing with someone like me that has the ability to see parallel simultaneously, then has worked and continue to work on how to articulate that perception, yeah, I'm different, and I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I'm not. So when you say, yo, that nigga is different, facts. Those are the facts, nigga. I don't just, this ain't to get along. I'm not talking just to get along with you, because they know that type of energy will garner in other energy, and the next thing you know, you got a mob of motherfuckers that are uneducated, ignorant to the situation, don't know what's going on, but high in emotion. This is a recipe for a disaster most of the time on somebody's part, but maybe not on their part if that's what they was planning the entire time. For you to get out here, be emotional, no fucking plan. I have not heard Mr. Newsom's plan. Let's hear what he got to say.
No. They should be fired.
Be fired, that's right.
We're calling on
arrested.
Eric Gonzalez to prosecute these cops like they would prosecute anybody else.
Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch says both officers have been placed on modified duty.
I have seen the video. I have been briefed on it, and this matter.
I don't think they're going to fire the cops, to be honest with you. They should not have, I can't say been using that tactic. That was not a tactic. Everything they did broke the policies of New York, of the NYPD, or probably any fucking police department. Jessica Tisch. She comes from a powerful family. That's a powerful family right there. But anyway, I digress.
is under internal review by our Internal Affairs Bureau, and we'll have more to say about it as that investigation unfolds. But I understand the community interest in it because it is an upsetting video.
And
Yeah. Man, damn me. Let's see what this guy has to say. The violent use of NYPD officers in this video is extremely disturbing and unacceptable. Facts. Officers should never treat a person this way. I would not go that far. I would say do what you need to do first, which is, how about the preliminary things that you were supposed to do? You understand? You didn't do none of that shit, bro. You didn't even know who this person was. So, I understand you thought you was hunting a dangerous individual where shit could have got hairy if he was on it like that. But if you can't do the job the correct way, then you do not need to be in this capacity. You do not need to be in that position, bro. Because you are putting your life on the line, but you signed up for it too. It's not like we drafted you motherfuckers into the NYPD. Like, your numbers came up. I don't want to do that shit. No, you wanted the prestige of an NYPD detective. Well, that comes with a cost, playboy. Huh? So I'm not acting like you chasing around Mickey Mouse all day long. No, you are chasing around some hairy individuals. Some ruthless individuals. But you got to have perspective with that, though. You got to be a professional. And it's obvious. Abundantly obvious. You two morons are not fit to sit in that capacity. This is not something, that's not a job you could just do where you just running off for, oh, this is what they usually do. Or I seen the guy do this before me, like, let's just go in there and wing this shit. Well, how's that end up? Then they're going to be in your ass. Don't think this is just they're going to take your guns for a couple of weeks and it's going to be all good. Unfortunately, I don't think you're going to lose your job. I think, I don't want to see you back on the detector. I think they both need to go back to blue coats, if not lose their job. But I'm saying, the reason I'm not saying lose their job first is because I don't think it's going to happen. So I'm just already going to the what's going to happen second, right? He didn't get killed. The guy got punched in the face. There's going to be a payday. He got kicked in the ass too and dragged across some bottles that they slammed him up against. So there's going to be a ginormous payday. You can just go ahead and write that fucking check right now. He'll settle out right now. He'll settle out for $5 million. Right now. I know. I'm speaking on his behalf. You don't even need to speak to his... You don't got to speak to him or his lawyer. Just trust me. Just ask him, would you settle out right now for $5 million? He's going to say, yeah, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? I got no hard feelings. You know what I'm saying? Then he's going to start talking that other shit. Save the I don't got no hard feelings for after the check has been deposited in your account, brother. Right now, there are hard feelings. The NYPD is conducting a full investigation into this incident. Here's the thing, man, Dammy. I don't know if you got more power than Jessica Tisch. That's number 18. You understand? Wallahi. I don't know if you got more power than her. You understand? I know what is... No, you don't understand. She works for him. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. You don't know what's going on. This shit is about Lord of the Rings, rings of power. You understand? Networks of power. That's what this is about. But we're going to see how that plays out. We're going to see how that plays out. Now, where we at? We at 1 hour and 35 minutes. Dude, can I even teach a lesson in 25 minutes? I definitely got 20 more minutes of rhetoric in me.
Here, Mamdani took to social media tweeting, "The violence used by NYPD officers in this video is extremely disturbing and unacceptable. The officers should never treat a person this way. The NYPD is conducting a full investigation into this incident." Abilene Moran says she witnessed it all, recorded the video, and says the officers threatened her when she questioned what they were doing.
Oh, my girl out here looking for a payday. Woo! My girl is out here looking for a payday. Yep. Hold on 1 second. Let me go to the chat on these niggas. Oh, audio only? I did not know that. I did not know that. Okay, so we learned something today. I'm not gonna use this. That's crazy. So this shit was audio only the whole time, blood? Hold on. There is no enable output server found. Oh, again, this is my first time using this. Hold on. Hold on. Stay right there. Don't move because y'all helped me out. Thank you. Now let me add something to this scene. Sources. Vertical scenes. Add a new scene. Scene 2. Can y'all see that? Anybody on YouTube, tell me if you can see that. Okay, Roby still can't see that. Alright, hold on, Roby. I just started using this thing here. Oh, you can see me. Alright. That's crazy. Oh, so that's what you gotta do. I didn't know that. This is bullshit. I don't know if I'm gonna use this again. Okay. Let me see what's going on Instagram then. Hold on. Instagram probably couldn't see shit either. This is probably why. Oh shit. That was it. Y'all put me on. Alright. When we do this then, I got a whole nother lesson to teach. I'm not even going to waste the lesson then. I'm going to come back at 11. I'm going to eat a little food and ting. I got to pick up the kids from school this afternoon. At 11, now that I know how to work this stupid ass contraption, and I could see I could go live on Instagram, live on YouTube at the same time. Thank you, YouTube, because nobody on Instagram was talking. Instagram is funny. Niggas be acting like they better than everybody else. They can't conversate with people. Let me know, yo. Let me know. You know what it is? Niggas on Instagram be nosy. Niggas is just trying to find out what's going on in your life and all of that. Hate fucking Instagram. Alright, cool. I'm gonna come back at 11 and I'm gonna teach. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna name this, my next video. But we're gonna talk. It's should be something to do with the miseducation of black people or some shit like that. I'll figure it out. Let's see here. We got scene 1, scene 2, scene 1, scene 2. I gotta get my scenes together. Because y'all couldn't see nothing that entire time? That's crazy, bro. Alright, let me work on this. I'll come back. Thanks for rocking out. By the way, I'm using the new software called Prism. So that is what's happening. And since it came out, I must have signed up for it as a trial. And then it came out a statement. And I was like, yo, I'm not even using that. But before I get rid of it, let me try to use it at least once. And this was the result. So it worked out. Because we found out some things. Right? I'm going to come back, though. And we're going to start a real, true teachings. Roby said he thought I was on the party bus. And all the lights was off. That's crazy work. It's crazy work. Nah, Lord. Alright, we're going to get together. I'm going to come back at it.